Hello and welcome to the December edition of Cycling Weekly's Tech of the Month. And we're finally coming towards the end of the year, guys. How's it been? We've seen some great product.
It's been amazing, hasn't it?
It has been. 2018 as a year for bike tech has been one of the better ones, I think.
Definitely.
Yeah. And we've got some more. We've got 3 brand new products with us. One has just been launched only a week or so ago, and it's from the big American brand. Can you guess which? Well, you guys can probably say
Walmart.
But I've got a little box here. Oh. It's top secret. Top secret. Ah. But it's not top secret anymore. Yeah, I do. But you can't see it. So
you guys are going to see it for us.
As you can see, throw that box in there. It's a Specialized Prevail 2 helmet.
Cool. Very nice.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Slick, yeah.
Big secret. Is it a big secret?
No. Well, it's the same
big
helmet.
secret?
So if you take that, I'll pick up the other one here, and this is the Evade 2. That's the Prevail 2.
That's definitely not a secret.
So it's not a secret helmet. So for the end of this year, heading into 2019, Specialized have updated all of their helmets, but they haven't actually got any new helmets as far as I'm aware. But they've got some new technology to go in said helmet. So for the road stuff, the Evade and the Prevail definitely get this updated tech. But yeah, the Evade and the Prevail 2 get Mips, basically.
That's strange for the American company, isn't it? Because this is a new technology for them, is that right?
Yeah, so they've... Yeah, basically it is. It's brand new for Specialized. They've not gone down the Mips route yet. Other brands like, Gyro and a few other brands I think have gone down that way. But it seems that the Specialized has made a bit of a U-turn on Mips, because I remember them saying to us, Rupert, you were there, they were like, we're following leads on our own sort of safety mechanisms in our helmets. And it was a bit of a surprise to me when they told me at their home in Chesington that they're now providing Mips on their helmet. So being Specialized, they're not going to do something out of the box. It's going to be slightly different. So the Prevail and the Evade, I don't know if you can see on the inside there, have their own proprietary Mips system. So this is called Mips SL. So we've seen that the Gyro Ether helmet has the Mips spherical. So this kind of follows the same pattern in the fact that they wanted the technology of Mips and the safety of Mips, so getting the 10 to 15 degree of rotational allowance, should we say, without the hindrance of overheating or getting your hair caught, etc., etc. So what they've done is that they've basically pretty much hidden the Mips within the helmet liner, the helmet pads. So you still get that movement here. So you can see in here, the liner is moving, and that is where the rotational movement comes from. So all of these are individual, as you can see. So you still get that rotational forgiveness without the helmet having a shield over your head.
It's very, very low key, isn't it? Compared to the Mips that we've seen before, which is usually a big yellow plastic insert which rotates.
Yeah.
This is very, like, when you handed it to me and said there's Mips in there, so I was looking for it.
Struggling to find out where it was.
Where is it? I was like, moving things, so it's not moving.
So it's good to see from Specialized. It's, I think I've said a couple of times now that 2018 seems to be the year that we all look back in a few years to come and go, that was the year that helmets have changed, really. And so this is another big helmet player following the trend of Mips and adding that safety in there. Yes, you don't always hit your head when you have a crash, but that's one of the things you do need to protect.
I'm not going to risk it.
Exactly. It's at a point now where safety isn't at the detriment of style or function or cooling or weight, because these, I'm not sure the exact weight of these, but Specialized weren't quoting a huge amount of increase in weight or price. So 200 for the Prevail, which is a bit more expensive, and 230 for the Evade. So they're pricey units, but they're the top of the range.
Both
helmets.
Cheaper than the Ether, I think, though. So they're there or thereabouts with the price.
Yeah.
And I can see that when Specialized said that they were working on their own safety system, there is a big, well, not big, but there is a black box attached to the back of
the
this
keen-eyed
helmet.
viewer, one of which is Rupert Radley, has noticed the little black box at the back of the helmet. So it has this red tag on it. Basically, it's that's the little QR code that you need to link it to your phone. But it's just a black unit. So that is called, and I laugh a little bit because it's called Angie, and I kind of know what's coming from Rupert Radley over here.
Angie, your fairy godmother.
Which
it is really, isn't
basically. So Angie's the new system from Specialized. Specialized own the company that designed this. So it was a guy, born out of the idea of safety, really. So Angie is a little gyroscopic and accelerometer. That's the tech inside there, basically. So if you were to hit your head or have a crash or fly off your bike, this little device...
Throw the helmet across the room.
In a rage, yeah. Which I'm sure James has done many a time.
Yeah.
When he's been out sprinted.
Which is very, very often.
It can detect those forces. So it's not just about impacts. Basically, if you have a crash, this will send a message to your phone. You link it to your phone with the Specialized Ride app. It is a subscription service, but you get 1 year's free with your helmet. So you shouldn't have to worry about it for at least a year. So this will send the location, like your GPS, where you are. It'll also say that you may have had a crash. Here they are, send help, which is a very good idea. And the unit itself doesn't weigh anything, hardly anything. It's like 20, 30 grams, I think, at most. And it's in a place where you're not going to notice it, which I like. I like what Specialized have done. They've added Mips as a bit of extra protection and safety, and then they've added Angie. Well, there you go. There's Angie. But very good work from Specialized, I think.
Very interesting.
Nothing new in terms of the helmets and what they actually are, but new technology to make those helmets better, I think.
Cool.
And obviously we know and love the Prevail and the Evade, so great helmets from those guys.
Agreed.
Rupert.
So I've brought, as you can see on the table in front of me, new Shimano 105 RO70.
RO.
And now here's a test for you. What does that stand for? He looks desperately at the boxes to try and find out.
Please tell me some information. I don't know what that stands for, mate.
That stands for hydraulic braking.
Ah.
Yeah. So this is Shimano's new, well, it came out in April.
It did, yeah. But it is their latest.
And it's taken a while to come around. I think that's fair to say.
Yep.
But it is here now, and we have it. And you've tested the rim braking version.
Yes.
So this is the hydraulic version that we've not tested yet. But it's a really exciting product. Firstly, because Shimano never had a dedicated 105 hydraulic system with 5800.
No, and it looked horrendous.
It looked horrendous. They had disc brakes, but they were like an add-on, effectively, to the group set already. They weren't formed as part of it, whereas they are now, which is really exciting because that means that the hoods are now a lot smaller, and they're much more in line with Shimano Ultegra's hoods. Whereas anyone's ridden the old 105 hydraulics, I think it's fair to say that they were
substantial.
They were absolutely enormous.
Yeah, but they were very comfortable. That was the thing. That was the annoying thing. And it took me a while to go, I don't want to ride
They
those.
effectively formed like a second position, really, didn't they, that hadn't existed before. But this is a lot smaller now, so aesthetically, it's much nicer. But also, as you might be able to tell, looks identical to Ultegra, really.
It is, yeah. Shimano are playing a funny game, I think. And it's great for the consumer, it's great for us, because product, especially in the higher tiers, the higher 3 tiers, 105, Ultegra, Endurace, they're coming together.
Gaps again.
I shouldn't do this action. Endurace isn't going this way. Endurace is going up that way every time they update it, but everything else is catching it and at a much quicker rate as well. It's much closer to Ultegra and the way it feels and the way it looks, and it's like, yes, that's a group that I want. It's desirable without the price tag, which I thought.
Totally. And Shimano have said that they wanted to make this a group set that you could race on, and that is completely what they've done.
Yeah.
This is same shifting as Ultegra. The hoods are smaller, and they've got that chamfered top now, so they're grippier when you're sweating and working hard. So, and the weight is nothing. Like, it's no difference. It's 174 grams heavier than Ultegra, which is,
just avoid the burger the night before.
Exactly.
And you saved it.
Yeah.
Pretty much, which is hard to do, to be honest.
But that is,
I do love a good
if
burger.
that is, there's some material differences and but 174 grams.
It's nothing. I think that's the thing which has always made me, I suppose, go for Ultegra over 105 was the fact there was, like you say, such a big jump. Whereas now, like this is minimal. There's nothing in it anymore. You know, like all of these group sets are so closely packed.
And I think this is what we've been discussing for a long time. All of us in the office is going, where are Shimano going, and what does it mean for the other group sets? If they've made mechanical so good, and at 105 level it's equivalent to Ultegra, what are they going to do with Endurace, and what are they going to do with Ultegra? I think they're in a very good position to go, you know, when they do decide to go wireless, and if they ever do go wireless, then that's Endurace, and if they, you know, wired electric is Ultegra, and do away with the mechanical side on that sense, and then 105 is just very good mechanical.
Yeah,
that is a very nice tier system.
That's obviously the big difference, is that there is no Di2 Shimano 105, and I think maybe quite a few people were kind of expecting there to be when they launched this in April, but I think from the perspective of the brand it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because that is now the big difference between them, is that Ultegra has Di2 and Shimano 105 doesn't have Di2. And I think that is a very nice, clean break between it. Yeah. And it also keeps the price down. So this costs, from my calculations, adding up all of the pieces individually, £885 is for the price of the box that we have here. But it's almost universally discounted online.
Yeah. So yeah, retail price is
just so low. Yeah. I mean, I've seen it for $650 online, I think, already. Like, they basically launched it and discounted it straight away, which is classic Shimano.
Yes. Yeah. But this hasn't had an easy birth, this group set, has it? Because a lot of people are struggling to get hold of the Shimano 105 hydraulic, aren't they? Yeah. And we've heard of a load of different companies going, we can't provide you with that 2019 bike because we haven't got the Ultegra group set to go with it. So we're very lucky to have our own set here, which we're going to stick on a bike and ride on.
Yeah, really excited to see how it rides. Probably going to put it out there, almost the same as Ultegra. But we'll find out. Although it is an 11 to 28 cassette, so too hard work for my spindly legs.
Sweet, thanks Rupert. James?
Cool, so today I have the all-new helmet from Met, which is the Codatronca, which in Italian means short tail, which as you can see here is...
I was going to ask. I thought it was like a dinosaur or something. Yeah.
Well, there we go. Looks a bit
put it on
weird and wacky and out there.
You've got to put it on.
Put it on.
Look at all those fingerprints on that visor.
I know. Nightmare to keep clean this thing. So, as I'm sure you've noticed over the last, couple of years, TT helmets have kind of traditionally gone from that very long tail design. Back in, 10 years ago, you had that, remember that old Specialized helmet with the tail which kind of went halfway down your back. Yeah. But what people realised was that with the longer tail, when it wasn't perfectly on your back, it would actually turn into a sail and would slow you down far more than a standard road helmet. So now a lot of companies are going for this short tail design because it gives the rider a lot more flexibility to move their head without losing aerodynamic efficiency. So, and it works a lot better for shorter people. So for like me, I struggle on the height side of things. So having a short tail helmet and being able to fit to my bike is actually, it's a good thing. So thanks, Matt. But anyway, so let's get it on.
It's got to get over that hair first.
Yeah, I know. I kind of need an XL really to fit it in. This is a bit of a tight fit.
Because we've seen this type of helmet, there's a couple of brands doing them, right? Giro, we featured a Giro helmet.
Vanquish,
yeah. That also had the visor, short tail design.
Stormtrooper.
Yeah. So there were a few doing it. So what does Met do on this?
So they had one TT helmet before this. They had the drone, which was similar to this. It's a wide body design. So both of them, this is. The idea is it pushes air around the shoulders to reduce turbulence. But the other helmet had a far longer tail. So as I was saying, like if you have a rider who struggles to get in an aerodynamic position, maybe they can't even hold the tail on their back in the first place, or they're just one of those riders who, I don't know, like your Froome, for example, he can't keep his head straight, so he's rolling it around all the time. That won't be beneficial if you've got a long tail. So having a short tail like this, it doesn't disturb the air as much. You haven't got as much of a sail behind you. Right. So if the shape isn't right, you're not affecting your aerodynamic efficiency as much.
So you're getting the benefits of an aero helmet. Yeah. You can take it off.
No, I was going to say, I'm about to take this.
No, you have to leave it on, mate. All the time.
But look, so this is a cool little feature. So you don't have to throw it away.
Imagine if you had to throw it away.
It's a mid-race.
I need to get a new one of them.
Like a lot of people just fling it off. They've actually got like internal magnetic points on the helmets that you can just chuck it on top. Look at that. How sleek is that? Cool.
So when you're taking a break from destroying planets on the Death Star,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just don't have to take the helmet off, just whip the visor up there.
Exactly. Look
Off
cool
you
at
go.
the same time. Yeah.
Look at that. So apart from the lovely magnets that will help you save your visor, what else does this helmet do to help you in your TTs?
So there's two cool features on this. Firstly, I actually really like this. Well, while Rupert's like playing around, we actually have this new buckle system here, which is on a lot of helmets nowadays.
It's a very popular system now, isn't it?
Yeah. So same with the Specialized helmets here before. It's a magnetic clip, so all you got to do is hold it next to it, and it, so those times when you're rushing for the race and you're kind of a little bit late, it saves you a few seconds.
I've never ever rushed to a race.
Notoriously, TT helmets are hot helmets to wear, so cooling is important and it is hard. Met tackles this by 3 vents on the central part of the helmet here, which condenses the airflow on your forehead and then spreads it around the helmet, around your head in internal channels underneath, and then sends it out this exhaust at the back. And this sucks the hot air out and naturally obviously cools you down.
And have you got a price for this bad boy?
Yeah, so it's £270, which I know is quite pricey when it comes to helmets, but Italian engineers, like what hasn't been great to come out of Italy as far as engineering is concerned? Ferrari, Ducati,
Fiat. We need to move on to Bike of the Month, and as you can see, there's a lovely stealth Canyon Endurace behind me, the CF SLX 9.0. This is their top of the range.
This is the fancy pants carbon version.
Or one of the top of the range.
Yes.
Because it comes in SRAM ETAP, but this is full Durace Di2, no messing here.
What
with
a
some
group set that is.
DT
as well.
Swiss carbon rims. So I rode this bike, not this bike in particular, I rode the 8.0, which is a step down, which you're looking at Ultegra, still with hydraulic disc brakes, same frame, same wheels and tyres, etc. And I rode it on the Coast to Coast.
Yeah. What a day that was.
In southwest, was it? Ilfracombe.
Yeah. Ilfracombe to Plymouth.
And yeah, so it took me all day through that challenge. I rode it before and after that ride as well. And from the time I spent on the rim version, the AL, compared to this, I was kind of blown away by it. I felt the rim version was a bit harsh and a bit slow, quite heavy. But compared to this, and I'm not saying you have to buy this is $5,500, which I think is a good price for the bike anyway. But I was just staggered by how good the bike felt, and it's got meaty tyres on there. So these are wide Continentals, and because it's an endurance bike, the Endurace it feels lively, it feels fun, it feels nice to ride, and it's very comfortable. But it doesn't have to, it's not a bike that should feel harsh in my eyes. That's what the Ultimate does, or the Air Road. They're the race bikes, right?
So that performance stiffness. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not saying they're uncomfortable bikes, but 25s, even a narrow 28, that's what that should be built for. But this bike needs to be a bit more relaxed in a sense, and they've done that with this bike. With Canyon's integrated handlebar and stem, this is kind of their endurance sort of model. So the bars are slightly flared at the top, so you can sit up nice and comfortable, and they've got a bit of a flare on the bottom just to sort of have a nice little comfortable wide stance when you're on the drops for predictable handling. The seat post on here on the higher model is their split seat post, which offers some comfort and vibration dampening, which again adds to the nice quality feel of the bike. But as I say, it feels nimble and it feels like weight. So when you are climbing, you're like, this is just great. Like, you're just whipping up a storm. And that is because it weighs 6.8 kilos.
Yeah,
for this size.
6.8, which is mad, isn't it?
This is a small.
That's mental.
It's bang on the UCI weight limit for an endurance bike, which is crazy.
So $5,500.
And those DT Swiss wheels are wicked as well. They're like the perfect depths for that medium between climbing, between straight line speed, a little bit of aero benefit from them as well.
Yeah. So obviously we're being a bit overindulgent here with the Durace model, which is the 9.0 version. But the time I had with the 8.0, which is I think around $3,500, $4,000, it's kind of like, this makes sense. If you're going to buy yourself a bike that you're going to take everywhere, do everything with. You want it to feel sporty, but you also want it to be comfortable. You know, if you're going to ride a bit slower, you know, like in the winter time, you spend more time on your bike because you're riding slower. And in the summer, not all your rides are going to be super fast or super on edge. So you're effectively spending more time on your bike, and you want to be comfortable, right? So lightweight, you know, it's got enough stiffness, it's super compliant, it's got nice wide chunky tyres, it's got disc brakes, it's kind of the bike of choice really. And I've kind of, I don't know if it's maybe me just getting old or something, but I've kind of fallen in love with this bike. And that coast to coast ride was a hard ride.
It was a challenge,
an epic adventure.
Yeah, it was.
But I never really, like body-wise, apart from feeling fatigued because of riding such a long distance, body-wise, I wasn't achy. I wasn't like, I've got to climb back on my bike. And, you know, there was points where we stopped and, you know, took some videos, and I was like, I wasn't at a point where I was like, I've got to get back on that bike. It was like, let's go, let's just do it. And it was just a nice bike. It's just good. But yeah, that is it for Bike of the Month, which is the Canyon Endurace CF SLX 9.0. A bit indulgent, top end Endurace.
It is
from
Christmas
Shimano.
after all, isn't it?
But it is
So
Christmas. You know, we can
always overindulge at Christmas.
You know, you've got to set the bar higher on your Christmas list, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You've got to.
For sure.
The top tier stuff is like, maybe I'm lucky. Maybe someone's, you know, got a bit of cash that can help me out with a £5.5 bike.
Mate, I'm going to put it in your
I
stocking.
don't know who you know.
My stocking.
I'll
How
put that in
big's
your
the
stocking.
stocking?
Yeah.
Thanks, Rupert. You're always looking after me.
You need a duvet cover to fit that in.
You're getting coal.
But yeah, that is it for Tech of the Month and Bike of the Month. You guys have a great holiday, and hopefully Santa brings you what you actually want, a £5.5 Canyon Endurace. That's what I want, Rupert. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Noted.
But until next time, we'll see you then. ANG. And the joke is, me and Rupert were talking about this before, and we just imagine, you know, an agony aunt phoning up your next of kin going, "Hi, it's ANG." Rupert's had a file. Why it sounds like that, I don't know, but